is we are creating a new Assistant Attorney General position who will have nationwide jurisdiction over the issue of fraud. Now, of course, that person's efforts will start and focus primarily in Minnesota, but it is going to be a nationwide effort because, unfortunately, the American people have been defrauded in a very nationwide way.
Since 2020, fraudsters have taken at least $36 billion and as much as $3 trillion in tax money from federal entitlement programs. That amount dwarfs the money federal prosecutors claim was stolen in Minnesota's federal food aid scandal known as Feeding Our Future. An investigation by the Center Square found this fraud stretches far beyond one state. Public safety net programs such as Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid lost billions of dollars to scams each year. The amount ranged from $2.7 billion in 2022 to $14.5 billion in 2025.
324 defendants were charged criminally, including 96 licensed medical professionals, 25 of whom were doctors and charged for their alleged participation in various fraud schemes targeting government and private health insurance programs. Over $14 billion in alleged fraud was billed to Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance programs. Unfortunately, those numbers represent Americans impacted in every state.
When you look at nationwide, just the prosecutions from the DOJ, you're talking about hundreds of billions and maybe as much as $3 trillion worth of fraud in the last 4 or 5 years from people basically defrauding entitlement programs. It really raises the question of what the federal and state governments are doing to mitigate that, to police that, and to stop that, because that is a huge theft of taxpayer money that we may never see come back. With the amount of fraud that we found, you're talking about, I think we have a $2 trillion deficit every year. That may be able to be retired by the amount of fraud, and maybe even cut into the debt if we cut back on these programs and police the fraud.
From 2020 to 2024, healthcare fraud offenses increased by nearly 20%.
Scam artist gets a bunch of money, taxpayers get burned, and people who would get the entitlements or get the benefits may not get them. And so you're talking about a really insidious type of thing, and that's why they're being prosecuted. And some of them are getting pretty substantial sentences, 20, 30 years in prison, which is justifiable if they're proven guilty of doing this kind of stuff to society.